Hi, Francis. I think you may have already pointed towards an answer about this, with particularly with Kanan, but I'm curious about this inner narrator that pulls my experience out of the present. As soon as I wake up in the morning, it starts up. And, you know, I guess I'm partly in love with it and partly frustrated with it. I guess at some point, if I get sick of it, it's like a noise that I identify with. So partly I'm wondering, should I be concerned or do anything about it? And also, how do you experience it at all, the inner narrator?
Well, I think it depends.
It seems to be connected with identity sometimes.
You know, often in spiritual circles, the mind and thinking has a bad rap. And to me, that doesn't make any sense. The only thing that makes sense is that we should make a distinction between happy thinking and misery thinking. So there is something very sweet, because when you say thinking takes me away from the now, that's bullshit. You're always in the now. It's just that what's going on now is thinking. Instead of perceiving. So, as I often say, I once was eating at a macrobiotic restaurant, and there they had this kind of discipline that eating was very serious matter. So when you eat, you eat. When you eat, you eat. You don't think. So it was like, I mean, it's ultimate concentration on the olfactive sensation and whatever, you know. And it's boring. It was miserable to do that, whereas you could be at a restaurant, eat your thing, and have all these happy thoughts. Much better.
It was macrobiotic.
What?
It was macrobiotic.
What?
The restaurant?
The restaurant was macrobiotics.
It might be more fun at a different restaurant.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Yeah. But nevertheless, even at a good restaurant, if you enjoy the company, you know, the food is just a pretense. So why is it that we when we say we escape the present by going into the thoughts are the present? You see?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. It's like, I mean, it's the attention gets absorbed by the thoughts, and rather than anything else. And I guess as long as I'm happy doing that, it doesn't matter.
Exactly. And that's why the only valid distinction is a distinction between happy thought and unhappy thought. All we have to do is to get rid of the unhappy thoughts and keep the happy thoughts. You see, that's all there is to it.
Is there, sometimes it seems like the unhappy thoughts are very sticky, or they have to get to the point where I say, okay.
The unhappy thoughts are the thoughts of fear and desire, and they're all related to me as a separate entity. Whereas the happy thoughts, there is something beautiful about freedom. You see what I mean? Freedom to perceive, and you are there, and a thought comes, a thought leaves, a sensation comes, a sensation leaves, and you feel that your life becomes vacation, because you don't have a goal. You see? You don't have a goal.
Right, all those...
You follow your interest. If your thoughts become interested in something, even something stupid, you see what I mean? Something stupid, that's fine. Because ultimately everything is stupid. You see what I mean? What is not stupid is to follow your enthusiasm for stupid things. Because everything is stupid, so ultimately, right? So what is not stupid is to follow your enthusiasm for stupid things or stupid thoughts or whatever. But not miserable thoughts, not unhappy thoughts. Because we are normally, I mean, if we are enthusiastic about following unhappy thoughts, it means we are twisted. You see what I mean? To be enthusiastic about, staying in the mud, that doesn't make sense to me.
It's a little warped.
Yeah, it's a little warped, yeah. So as soon as we detect this unhappiness in our thinking process, then we have to remember our enthusiasm about the truth and replace that with the investigation about the alleged limited entity that was at the origin of this unhappy thinking. But other than that, it's beautiful to have space in your mind, to be open and to let things come rather than to go after. It's just like, in your day, to be able to have the freedom to do things and not to do things. That's why it's better to be self-employed in most cases than to work for a boss or for society.
Yeah, that's
because you can be more productive in this way. It doesn't mean you are not going to be useful for society, but you do it on your own terms, on your own schedule, on your own enthusiasm. And then one day you are interested in this, the other day interested in that.
Yeah, that's why I'm self-employed. I had an experience this week. I don't know if there's any point in recounting.
Provided the state and the Marxists stay out of your wallet.
I guess I'm wondering if there's an easier way to be free of thinking that you don't want to be thinking.
Yes, that's a good one. That too, yes. But when you are free, there is an order of priority. First, you have to be free from thinking, and by the same token, your desire to be free from thinking will drop. So the desire to be free from thinking, although it's a thought, is not too bad a thought. Because it self-dissolves when it reaches its goal.
is it a matter of seeing it, feeling it clearly enough? Because I've been, sometimes I do some meditation when it seems like I'm kind of lost in a cloud of thought, and sometimes it helps.
I think what helps is your commitment to truth. That's what helps. At the end of the day, that's the only thing that works.
Right, everything else is just a technique you're doing.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to worry about it. Thank you.
Marcy says, could you please talk about the difference between choice and control? It seems that choice can come from the spirit of love and celebration, and then the remnants of the separate self want to be a party poopers by trying to control the party. You have said that we do have choice, but we do not have control over how these choices unfold, correct? The sense of separation has confused these two, and any further clarity you can bring to this subject will be appreciated. Yes, as a separate consciousness, we have no choice, no control, no power. We simply have the illusion of a limited freedom. But even this limited freedom we seem to enjoy is an illusion because we don't choose the thoughts that come to us, and therefore we don't choose the decisions we make. As universal consciousness, we are absolute freedom, and whatever arises outside in the universe or within as a thought, as a decision, comes from this freedom. The only difference at any given moment is whether or not we identify, we, universal consciousness, whether or not we identify with a seemingly limited entity. And if we make a decision from one of these two perspectives, this decision would be free or contrived, depending on the perspective from which this decision is made.